Ford Motor Company just debuted the all-new 2025 Bronco Sport, and in this video I'm going to tell you everything about it. And the main question I have for you is, has Ford done enough to bridge the gap between the smaller Bronco Sport to the big boy Bronco, and does it make sense to go with this vehicle versus that big one? What's up guys, Mitchell Watts, TC Customs, and let's jump straight into the video itself. As you can see, we are graced with the image of the all-new Bronco Sport located here. First thing you're going to notice, you've got an updated grille, you have got an updated bumper, you've got updated modular bar located up front. You also notice some beefier tires, and we're going to cover that in addition in this video, because at the end of the day, that's one of the key headlining features of this new truck is the new Sasquatch package. So let's slide through here and see what we've got. So the first thing that you can see that they are locating with us is this big old heavy duty bumper. This is an all steel bash plate setup. I was watching Mike Levine, which if you don't know, that's Ford's chief marketing officer. Follow him on Instagram. You should do that same as well. But he was showing the differences between the bash plate on the new Bronco Sport Sasquatch package and the Subaru and then the Toyota TRD. There's quite a big difference between this setup versus the competition. So I can see some value in this package, especially when you find out exactly how much the Sasquatch package costs. But more details on that here in just a second. You'll also notice that Ford Motor Company has debuted an updated infotainment system all throughout. So you're getting not only just upgraded off-road ability, but you're also getting updated technology, as you can see right here. That is a 13.2-inch touchscreen right there in the center stack. In addition to that, you also have the instrument cluster is taken directly out of a Raptor Bronco, or at least the inspiration from a Raptor Bronco, because that massive LCD screen, yes, that looks very similar to what you'll find in the Bronco Raptor. You'll also notice that the dash is slightly different over here, as well as some updated grab handles. Once again, more on that here in just a second. But Ford is also giving us the ability to not only just have off-road ability, but have more customization options. And one of the ways they're doing that is with these updated auxiliary switches. As you can see, 4 different auxiliary switches makes it easier to wire things up like off-road lights or winches or whatever you need to power on and off. You've got that ability located right there. Scrolling down a little bit further, you're going to see that there is going to be a little bit of different update. Now, the majority of the side of the vehicle is not going to be a whole lot different. The majority that you're going to see different is going to be in that front end, the rear end, and yes, the beefier tires. So let's take a look a little bit about what that is. So Matt Simpson, which is Ford Enthusiast Vehicle General Manager, he was quoted saying that the Bronco Sport customers love the outdoors and going off-road 3.5 times as often as owners of competitive vehicles, and camping twice as often. They want to know that they can overcome obstacles that come their way, which drove our design engineers to push the Bronco Sport to new levels of capability and performance to let our customers do and have more off-road fun. This kind of goes back to my overall thesis of this video. It's trying to bridge that gap between the small Bronco and the big Bronco, but without big Bronco prices. So I think that's kind of a good target for Ford to hit. You're going to notice these massive tires. They're the largest tires in the segment. Yes, they're not 40s like the Bronco Raptor that I've got, but 29-inch tires is not that bad for the segment that you've got here. And so you might be asking yourself, what's going on with this Bronco Sport Sasquatch package? What do you get? Well, first off, let's talk about how do you get it. It's only available in 2 different trim levels, the Outer Banks and also the Badlands version of the Bronco Sport. But the good news is it's available with either one of the engines, the 1.5-liter EcoBoost or the 2.0-liter EcoBoost. So it's nice that you've got that option on both of those engines. Now, keep in mind that the Sasquatch package is going to step you up to a brand new twin clutch rear drive unit and a rear locking differential. Now that rear locking differential, or one of those, is available on the current Badlands, but this is the very first time you're able to get that set up without having to go into a Badlands to get it. So that's kind of nice. Now I've already alluded to it a little bit, but you've got a 29-inch Goodyear Territory all-terrain tire on the vehicle. It's a 235/65 R17, and it's a good looking tire. I don't have a whole lot of experience on those Goodyear tires. I'm more of a Nitto guy myself, but nonetheless, it's a it's nice to have the largest tire in the segment, especially if you're trying to bridge that gap between the two vehicles. Now, you also pick up a brand new GOAT mode on this vehicle called the rally mode. The idea there is when you go into that rally mode, it's going to hold the gear a little bit longer. It keeps the vehicle into boost that allows you to have more of a throttle response when you're going rally racing or just kind of going fast on a, you know, a smoother off-road type of terrain. So that's kind of nice to have. In addition to that, Ford is giving you a brand new feature for the Bronco Sport, and that's the Trail One Pedal Drive. The idea there is when you're off-roading and going down a really steep hill, when you let off the accelerator pedal, it will automatically apply the appropriate braking so that way you don't speed out of control. It's a better way, especially if you're newer in the off-road industry, it's a better way to control the speed of the vehicle when going off-road. The Bronco has currently got this. The Raptors have currently got this. It's nice that they are, you know, squeezing this down into the Bronco Sport trim level. And as far as the Sasquatch package, what else do you get? Well, first things first is you get Bilstein rear shocks. It's interesting to note that Ford's not giving you Bilstein front shocks, or maybe I just missed that when I was going over the briefing, but you do get them in the rear for sure. And not only that, but they're position-sensitive dampening with a piggyback reservoir to allow for extra fluid. That way the shock stays nice and cool. Why? Because this vehicle is going to have more travel than the previous generation. And speaking of that, the suspension travel on the front of this vehicle is 8.3 inches in total wheel travel. Once again, it's not Raptor status, but for the vehicle that it is, that's actually kind of respectable. And in the rear, you get 8.7 inches of rear wheel travel. So once again, it's perfect for that type of a vehicle. And keep in mind, that is 0.6 of an inch more than the outgoing version of the Badlands. So that's kind of nice. But in addition to the Sasquatch package, you also get a standard updated front brush guard that you saw at the very beginning of this video. That is a part that is standard automatically with the Sasquatch package. In addition, you get this steel bash plate that we kind of talked about earlier. And you'll also notice that you've got these Bronco bolts up here that's going to allow for modularity. It's designed for bringing your own accessories to the table. Whether it's want to mount lights up here, you can do that, or whether you want to mount a dune flagpole, you can do that as well. So it's nice that you have that. You also happen to have some tow hooks up front as well as some D-rings out back. In fact, let me show those to you. Those are kind of cool as well. So it is just nice that you have that overall flexibility. There we go. So those are those D-rings that I was telling you about. And notice that the rear bumper is also accessory ready with all these Bronco bolts located throughout the vehicle. So that's kind of nice. Now, if you are selecting the right options, you can actually get a 360 camera set up on this vehicle as well. And once again, this is optional, it's not standard, but when you do go with that, you get a new trail view, which is going to be the ability to see where your tires are being placed while you're off-roading. So once again, if you're newer to off-roading, or if you just like to cheat, I do. I'm not afraid to admit it. Yeah, you can do that. It gives you a little bit more off-road confidence, if you will, especially if you're newer in the game. Now shifting gears away from this Sasquatch package, the Big Bend also got some love, and that is going to be found with the new Black Diamond package. This is a brand new package that Ford is giving us for 2025, and the idea behind it is to give you more off-road capability, especially if you don't need something like the crazy, rear drive unit and things like that. So if you don't need quite as much off-road prowess, but you still want some capability, the Black Diamond package that's found on the Big Bend might be something you want to consider. So this new Black Diamond package not only allows you to have up to 4 recovery points just like on the Sasquatch package, but you can still tow up to 2,200 pounds when properly equipped. But keep in mind that the 2.0 standard automatically tows up to 2,700 pounds. So just keep in mind that when you go with that Black Diamonds package, it's going to actually reduce your towing capability just a little bit, but some people would probably rather take. So it's nice that you have the option in either direction. So, and keep in mind, you also get the steel underbody protection. So that is really nice feature as well. Now let's talk a little bit more about this technology that I mentioned to you a little bit earlier. Sync 4 is going to be the system that we have here. And inside of this Sync 4 system, you're going to get wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, which is the very first time that the Bronco Sport has ever had that feature. It was not available in the previous generations. You actually had to plug it in to get that Apple CarPlay or Android Auto working. It's nice that you're giving that now wirelessly. Although I will admit that I've got wireless in my Bronco Raptor and I never use it. I'm always plugged in because my phone battery just doesn't last that long anyways. And when you go with the wireless option, it's probably not a bad idea to keep yourself with a hard plug-in anyway. So keep that in mind. But one thing that I do love is this BYOD, the bring your own device tray that's located up front. So the cool thing about this is you've got your Bronco bolts located on either side of this, so that way you can mount up like a camera setup or any other kind of accessory you can make up. You can put it right there. And Ford is also giving us 2 USB-C ports located inside of that same tray. So the idea there is that if you wanted to power a GoPro, you can do that. Or if you wanted to power a dash cam, you can do that. Whatever it is that you want, or maybe it's a Garmin GPS, you can do that. There's a lot of options when you go with that setup. Now, as far as USB-Cs are concerned, there's up to 6 of those points throughout the vehicle. And the vehicle only seats 5 people, so it's nice to know that everybody's got a plug for their device no matter what you've got going on. So that's kind of cool. Every single Bronco Sport comes with the Ford Copilot 360 Assist Plus technology. And if y'all have been watching my channel for any amount of time, you would know that I love the technology, hate the naming scheme because it's as confusing as the day is long. But let's talk about some of the cool features you get with that. Automatic high beams. You're driving at night, the high beams will automatically turn on if there's no one there. And if you've got someone coming towards you or in front of you, the high beams will go back down to the low beams. It's nice to have that feature. Blind spot information system can tell if someone's in your blind spot when you're on the interstate. But when you're backing out of a parking spot at Walmart, it can detect people that are crossing you and keeping you from getting T-boned if you back out into oncoming traffic. Lane keeping system, which has got lane keeping assist and lane keeping alert and driver alert. It's basically cameras that are looking at the lines in the road, and it's detecting if you're going to run out of the road, and it can actually bounce you back in the lane in case you're drowsy or just not paying attention. It's a really nice feature that hopefully will save some lives. Pre-collision assist with automatic emergency braking uses those same cameras to detect if someone's in front of you and slamming on their brakes, and the vehicle actually can automatically apply the emergency braking for you if it detects someone's stopping in front of you. It even picks up pedestrian detection, forward collision warning, and dynamic brake support. So it's nice that you're getting all of this safety, built into the vehicle. Backup camera with parking sensors. The backup camera, I think, is now required by law on every new vehicle, but it's nice that you've got the backup sensors to go as well. And adaptive cruise control with stop and go and lane centering. This is awesome technology that can keep you at a safe distance, a consistent distance between you and the car in front of you. And so as the car in front of you slows down, so does your car. When it speeds up, it speeds up. It is looking in the lines in the road and will actually keep you centered in the middle of the lane. Basically, the way it works is if you keep your hands on the steering wheel, the car will steer itself. It's really, really sweet technology. And then Evasive Steering Assist. If you are about to hit somebody in front of you and you initiate the turn, then the vehicle will help you completely get around the vehicle, hopefully, fingers crossed. That's kind of what that technology is there for. But the reason I said that this technology is so confusing is because of the naming. Well, you have Ford Copilot 360 Assist 2.0, which is optional. Sounds just like what we had just talked about, but it is a setup where it's a little bit extra, where you get the 360 camera with that split view that I was talking about, that terrain view that I was talking about earlier. You get reverse brake assist, so that way you don't accidentally run over little Johnny's bike. And then you also have speed sign recognition, which can actually adjust the speed that you have vehicle set to based on what the speed limit of the actual road is, which is kind of nice. So that's kind of what you're getting with the new updated version of the technology, and I really, really like that. Now let's talk a little bit more about the accessory ready. So you can see we've got a much more close-up of those Bronco bolts, which are designed to be unbolted, and they're designed to bolt accessories to those. And notice you still got your parking sensors located in here. You've got that safari bar located right there. I think the front end looks a lot better with this whole setup, and it's significantly more functional because, I've used those same Bronco bolts to hook up a full-blown winch system to the front of my modular front bumper on my Bronco Raptor. Yes, I get it. It's a very different vehicle, but the flexibility is still there. And I love that. So that is one of the things that I love about it. But one of the things that is, I think, the coolest feature of all is in the front fender, you now have these tie down points where you can strap an entire canoe to the roof of the vehicle, and you can tow it down using what was normally and previously just a wasted little emblem, a wasted little space. It's nice that they are giving us the ability to have some extra functionality with just a very simple upgrade in the design. I don't know who at Ford came up with that, but I love that. That is just, even if it's just a party trick and you never use it, that's really kind of neat. I love that. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is going to be the updated grab handles, which once again, they're optional, but you can see they're connected with Bronco bolts. So even if you don't get this as an option from the factory, you could probably walk into your local Ford dealer and pick you up a set and install them yourself. So I think that's really, really cool. If you're interested in ordering one of these vehicles at invoice pricing, call us. That number is right there on the screen. We'll be happy to put it in writing up front for you, regardless of which term level of the Bronco Sport that you want. Be happy to get that vehicle on order. Thank you so much for watching this video, and have a great day. Peace.